So many people have heard of or played Counter-Strike. It's more than I thought, not gonna lie. Today I'll be doing my speech on Counter-Strike. First off, a little bit of history. It was released as a mod in 1999, and a mod stands for modification. It was modified from a different game. Then it was created into its own standalone game and released in retail in 2000. It was developed by Valve. Valve is known for a wide variety of games. The most popular being Half-Life, Team Fortress, Portal, and if you remember from the last speech, Rob's Dota 2. There was competitive play in Counter-Strike for a little while. The most popular was the Cal League and the CPL League. Cal was stood for Cyber Athlete Amateur League. It was an online league. And then CPL was the professional league, and that was actually held at a LAN center where people would get together, and there were actually cash prizes. And then I have some of the notable teams. There's 3D, Complexity, Moss Sports, and SK Gaming, as well as there's I5 and a few others. The Cal and CPL League was created by a guy named Angel Munoz. He was trying to bring Counter-Strike to a professional level. He wanted it to be as popular as like football or soccer would be. He started doing that in 1997 with a different game called Quake. And he was successful in his attempts, and the CPL League was pretty popular until 2007 when it started falling apart. I have a quote here that after 2007 there was a scandal in which teams claimed they weren't paid, and Angel Munoz kind of just vanished from the scene. It was taken from an interview with Dan Demler. They named different teams on Counter-Strike. You choose between counter-terrorists and terrorists. Based on like which map you're playing, you'll either be assaulting or defending as a terrorist. And pretty much the same goes for counter-terrorists. The maps are generally sorted by prefix. There's DE as CS, Surf, FY, AIM, and AWP. First off, I have DE maps. DE stands for destruction maps. In this map, you have to plant a bomb as a terrorist at one of two sites, generally called A or B. The counter-terrorist is supposed to either defuse the bomb when planted, or you have to just kill all the terrorists. On this map, terrorists would be the assaulting team, and counter-terrorists are trying to defend the bomb sites. On CS maps, you have the terrorists holding hostages, and counter-terrorists are trying to rescue them. They have to get in, grab them, and then go back to a specified safe zone. And on this one, the terrorists are defending, and counter-terrorists are assaulting. Surf maps and FY maps are kind of special. They're usually made by the community, or just like people who think of ideas for maps. Surf maps, you kind of surf. I don't know, you don't have a board or anything, but it uses like gravity physics to work your way through a course of some kind. Shooting is allowed, though generally frowned upon on these maps. And FY maps are user-generated too, but they're usually simple, like a square with guns laid out. And in these maps, you're just running around shooting anything that moves. Aim and op maps are another type of map that's usually made by users. Aim maps are like FY maps in the fact that they're generally simple, and the guns are laid in front of you, but you want to focus more on aiming and shooting from a distance in these ones. And op maps are extremely similar to aim maps, except for the fact that you don't have a wide array of guns. You are given one single gun called the op, which is essentially just a sniper rifle that kills anything it hits. The different weapons. Depending on what team you choose, you will get your choice of different weapons. Counter-terrorists have a few guns that terrorists don't have, and terrorists have a few guns counter-terrorists don't have. Terrorists will originally get AK-47s. They have dualies, which is just two pistols, which is a lot of fun. And then they start with the Glock 9. Counter-terrorists get the M16 assault rifle, a tactical shield, a MOS, and they start with a USP. Then there's tactical gear you can get, which is grenades, body armor, and then counter-terrorists have the option to buy defuse kits, which will help them defuse bombs on DE maps faster. Grenades, you have your heavy explosives, your smoking flashbangs. And then for body armor, you have Kevlar, or you get Kevlar and helmet. Over the years, there have been several adaptations to Counter-Strike 1.6, which was the original. A few of these would be Condition Zero, Counter-Strike Source, and the most recent would be Counter-Strike Global Offensive. First off, I'll be talking about Condition Zero. It was released in March of 2004 after a large amount of setbacks. It was originally published by Valve, but they had a different company actually making the game. And that company was Rogue Entertainment. And they made it until 2000 when they went bankrupt. Then they handed the game over to Gearbox. And after they failed to meet quite a few deadlines, they took the game away from Gearbox and gave it over to Ritual Entertainment. And Ritual Entertainment actually made the game. They finished it. But when they were releasing it for just trial copies to see how people liked the game, it came back with a 60% approval rating, which did not meet Valve's gold standard. So they gave it to another studio called Turtle Rock, and they went back to Gearbox's original setup, threw out everything Ritual Entertainment did, and finally released the game in 2004. Counter-Strike Source was released in November of 2004, so just a couple of months later. This one was pretty popular, not quite as popular as the original, but more popular than Condition Zero. There was some competitive play. It lasted for 3 years until CPL went out, and 3D was probably one of the premier teams. The gameplay was the same. It just had new graphics, and they added a bunch of particles to make everything fancier. And Global Offensive was released in August of 2012. Global Offensive featured new maps, game modes, items, and better graphics. And then I have a quote here: "The models are cool and everything looks great, but is no longer has that feeling like an arena-based shooter." In Counter-Strike 1.6, you had this feeling that you were in a closed-off arena. And in Global Offensive, they added a lot of background scenes. That quote was taken from an interview with Joe Meddy. And these are my sources. Any questions? George.
Is that Joe Sub G Meddy?
Yes, he is.
I know him.
Do you?
Yeah.
Joe Meddy was the leader of a team called Alpha Team Clan Shaba Crew Gaming Syndicate 2000. They were an intermediate team in Canada.
Is that a computer game or an Xbox game?
It's on computer, but they also have versions of it on the Xbox. I think you can play on Xbox Live.
That was like a .75.